classification talk?
It's up to you.
Okay.
If you don't have time, that's fine. I can do it some other day.
No, we have time. Want to do it?
Peter.
All right, Peter's going to do a classification talk before we introduce our guest. He said he had a 100-page autobiography,
At least 100 pages.
so we'll be here for a while.
What's that?
Or on that side, that's fine.
Peter, go over there in the middle.
This side.
Without throwing it in the way.
Make sure you take pictures of him.
That way. Come forward.
Can you
I
flip your
have-
hair a little bit? Little hip?
I'll polish. I was born in Weymouth, Massachusetts, but we moved to Yarmouth, Nova Scotia when I was a very small child. My father was originally from Nova Scotia. I've had a love and curiosity about electronics, spent a lot of my time during the less favorable weather days in Nova Scotia inside playing with old electronic devices, radios, TVs, and such. I had a single desire in life, and that was to become an electrical engineer. From Yarmouth, we moved to Florida. My father's health was deteriorating, and his doctor said, "You need a warmer climate." And we moved there, and I finished school there in 1970. Joined the United States Air Force. I continued and completed my education in electrical engineering while I was in the Air Force. My final year in the Air Force, I was stationed in Thailand. This was at the ending of the Vietnam War, where I worked in ground-to-air communications and worked with other electronic equipment. I met my wife, who was introduced to me by a mutual friend. We've been together for 43 years now. I have no idea how she put up with me for this long, but she even did apologize, as I said the other day. I remained in Thailand for about 10 years. I love the country. It's a beautiful country. While there, I decided to go to graduate school and do my graduate studies. I went to the Asian Institute of Technology, which is outside of Bangkok, where I met this gentleman called Tom Westheimer and Beverly. They've remained close friends for all these years. Another case of how the heck do they manage to do that? I don't know. But Tom's friendship has been one that I greatly treasure. Tom and I created a computer project. We promoted it, and eventually we dug up financial backing from a gentleman named Wayne Green. Maybe one or two of you have heard of him before. Wayne had a condition. The condition was that our company would be located in the Monadnock region. And so Tom and I both moved here to Peterborough in 1983. And though our venture was not terribly successful, we both found that we liked the area and we stuck around. My wife, 3 daughters, and I moved from Dublin, where we had been living, to Jaffrey in 1985, into the same house that my wife and I still live in today. We're kind of stuck there now, I think. My professional career, both in Thailand and New Hampshire, I did a lot of consulting work, mostly in computers. I created the first GIS, Geographical Information System, for PC computers in the early 1980s. I created the first Windows GIS program. Following that, I believe the Windows program is still being sold today. While developing software, I decided I needed a new project, so I began writing books as a second career. In the end, I ended up with having about 15 books published. Of that, 3 maybe were successful, which actually, in all honesty, is pretty much par for the course for authors. You don't write every book and get successful on it, unfortunately. Also co-authored a number of books as well, and in the latter part of the 1990s, I decided that I wanted another switch. I love changes. And Franklin Pierce College at the time seemed like a really good place to be, so I went to work and started teaching in the computer science department at Franklin Pierce. Basically, I worked there for about 15 years. I figured it was time to retire. Maybe a little bit of an early retirement, but a retirement. So I retired and was retired for about 2 years until I got this call from our academic assistant. She called me up, she said very sweetly, nicely, "Peter, would you like to come back?" And I said yes. So I came back to Franklin Pierce for another 2 years. On my first day back, I walked into the office and she looked up at me and she says, "Your office is right where it always was." And I walked in and nothing had changed. All the stuff that I left on my desk was still there. It was planned.
It was a museum.
No question about it, it was a memorial to me or something, I don't know. The only thing that I have to say is that the quarter-inch or so of dust on the desk was a bit of a daunting experience. I worked again for another couple of years at Franklin Pierce, and then I retired again, mostly for health reasons. I have to say that Franklin Pierce University was one of my most favorite things. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the staff, faculty, and most of all, I enjoyed the students. The students there have been great. I continue to be in contact with my past students, and many of them are doing quite well now. I have 3 daughters. 2 are graduates of Conval here in Peterborough. Third one graduated from Conant. They all live in the area, which pleases my wife greatly. We have 5 grandchildren, 3 girls, 2 boys. They're all adults. I don't have little grandchildren like some of you do. Our grandsons both live outside of the area. One lives in Cambridge and one lives in Pennsylvania. I have 2 granddaughters here, both work at Rivermead. And I have 1 granddaughter who's graduating from Trinity in Hartford, Connecticut in May. I did not learn until roughly 2 weeks ago that she was graduating. I had somehow, in my mind, thought she was only a junior. Somebody came up and said, "No, you have 3 graduations this year. Katie is graduating too." Oops. My wife and I travel now to a certain extent. We're currently working on our all states east of the Mississippi trip. We have 5 left to do, which we hope to do later this summer. And then we're going to try doing the rest of the states on the west of the Mississippi. I have written my autobiography. It's about 100 and some odd pages. It'll be published at the point that I die, mostly because I don't want to face all the lawsuits from everyone that's mentioned it. I've only changed a few names to protect the innocent. The guilty are named in full. And of course, I joined Rotary a few years ago, mostly after about 4 years of Tom going, "You really need to join." So, and I've joined Rotary as well. Thank you.